Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, let's see who profited or who are the profiteers of natural gas business. We have here an article from Sputnik, and they are going to show us how the Europeans themselves, after they impose sanctions on Russia themselves. And I have here numbers and I have a little diagrams or anyway some evidence on how things worked for the European Union and also who profited the most. We know who profited the most, and that is the United States of America. They made these idiots sanction themselves so they can come and help with their liquefied natural gas. You would be surprised. So let's get this going right here. Sputnik, and it is from today, the 2nd of January 2024. How much has Europe overpaid for gas after rejecting Russian deliveries? Question mark. And we have here some like that. I will read all those for you, but hey, let's get to the narrative here. A recent Sputnik review of Eurostat data discovered that European Union countries had to pay some 185 billion extra on natural gas over the past 20 months after cutting themselves off from cheap, dependable Russian pipeline gas. Put this on top of the so-called aid these guys gave to Al Capone to use in Ukraine to destroy Russia, and you figure out how much money the taxpayers, the citizens of these European countries will have to pay in the future, their children and grandchildren. Check out Sputnik infographic for details on the losses and on who, I tell you, Al Capone benefited from the EU's short-sightedness. Holy. European Union countries' expenditures on pipeline and liquefied natural gas jumped nearly threefold since February 2022, and the levying of restrictions on the purchases of supplies from Russia. God damn it! With the bloc forced to spend some $304 billion in imports. $304 billion on imports over 20-month period from early 2022 to late 2023. For comparison, the bloc spent just 292 billion euros total of natural gas over the 8 years period between 2013 and 2021. So between this period of time right here was about what, 8 years or so, they paid 292 billion natural gas, and the other ones for the 20 paid 304 billion. So bravo. That means European Union countries are currently spending over 4 times what they once did just 2 short years ago. Buy my gas. Hot air. Okay, higher energy prices mean higher prices for just about everything. So obvious, this is like with when energy goes up, like the diesel goes up, fuel goes up, everything increases in the price because the transport and the production. So higher energy prices mean higher prices for just about everything, from industrial production costs to inputs like fertilizers for agriculture to utilities rates and virtually everything you can think of from the supermarket and big box retail stores. Correct. President Putin warned in May 2022 that the EU's suicidal and, quote, absolutely political decision to halt the purchase of Russian energy supplies would come back to bite the bloc. It was obvious. They knew that too. They didn't care. The order came from the guys in charge of Washington, D.C., and that's not the politicians. And I'm quoting, rejection of Russian energy resources means that Europe will systematically become the region with the highest energy costs in the world. This will seriously and, according to some experts, irrevocably undermine the competitiveness of a significant part of European industry, which is already losing the competition to companies in other regions of the world, Putin said at the time. By the way, Russia is on fourth place, if I remember correctly now, in the world with its economy. Is it the fourth place or fifth? I know they bypassed Germany, industrial Germany. It's true, Russia has double its Germany's almost double Germany's population, 145 million versus about 84 or 80, something like that. But it's okay. The Germans will import more Germans to help them because they can't figure out how to work anymore. Why? Their business environment is fantastic. Idiots. All right. He was proven right. I mean, we all knew that. Maybe the citizens, some citizens did not. With European producers playing the block by the hundreds for areas where energy costs are cheaper and tax breaks, USA, more plentiful, especially in the United States. Meanwhile, energy exporting countries, including the US, Britain, and Norway, have taken advantage of Brussels' short-sightedness. It was not short-sighted, it was an order, my friends. Say it as it was. I didn't. Oh, well, they knew it. They couldn't be so tards. Maybe they are, but some of them knew that, making up for the lost Russian gas suppliers with their own deliveries at a tidy profit naturally. Maybe this was the plan. Well, we're gonna shoot ourselves in the foot. We're gonna win in Ukraine. We're gonna take over Russia's resources, and we're gonna be paid back by the Americans because let's be tard. Let's go full retard right now mode. Click. Ooh. So we're gonna beat the Russians. We're gonna get their gas and oil, and then United States of America will be the only one distributing it to us, the crumbs. Plip, plip, plip. And we're gonna be like up, like bottom feeders. Remember the bottom feeders? This what with these guys are bottom feeders. Whatever the throws them. But we all attack and we win. This was the idiotic, probably say we're gonna do this in about 4 months with our sanctions. The Russians will overthrow the evil Putin with 80% approval rating. Anyway, the cells were activated, nothing happened. So then we're gonna take over the resources. Therefore, we're gonna suck whatever we want, a big one or a small one, put it in our ass or something, but we will do it. Didn't happen, obviously. So now they're like, a promise is a promise, Al Capone. Shut your pie hole. Damn. All right, let's go back here. EU overpaid for gas due to its own sanctions against Russia. Average monthly import value, average on billion. So this is all on billion of euros. So this little thing here is liquefied gas. This one is pipeline gas. So this is Russia. This is Profiteers. So before, right here, you see, before adoption of sanctions, they paid 2.3 billion for the liquefied natural gas, 3.6 billion monthly import value. Okay, so there was 6 billion euros before. All right, and then we get here after February 22, that's 15.2. Both of them jumped. Now we go here and we have from April, this is the pipe gas, and this is the liquefied natural gas. From April 2017 to end of 2021, they paid 186 billions a month. Now from 2013 to 2021, 292. And since February 2022, they paid 304. I guess it's because it's a different color. As you can see, I'm taking it. So this is liquefied natural gas. By the color we go here. And then it says 185 billion euros overpayment for 20 months. 20 months. Now the profiteers. Who profited from the situation? Situation created by whom? By Putin. United States of America profited 53 billion euros. UK 27 billion euros, Norway 24 billion euros, Algeria 21, Russia, despite reduced supply due to price increases, got 14, Qatar 14 billion euros. So you see 53, these guys are in the market, in the business, United States of America. Why? That's how you eliminate competition illegally. You destroy the competition, like you destroy the in political. Look what in political sphere. Look what they do to Trump. Again, they destroy competition and then they win. Remember, it was that movie. It wasn't Borat, but it was the same guy, Sasha Cohen, a Zelensky Stein guy. Funny as he was. Remember, he was in Borat, and then he was like the dictator. and he was running on a like track, and he starts running and he kills everybody, and then he wins because he's the only one left alive to win the competition. The same, this is United States of America with those guys, the Russians, the Chinese, the Arabs, everybody, and then they win. Yeah, we're the most profitable. And then you hear this, some of these baboons telling you, oh, the American worker is the most efficient worker. Really? Yeah, you are efficient, that's true, because you're mechanized, that's true. In Romania, you still use the fucking nails and the hammer. Over here, you just some. That's true, that's very efficient. Not because you do this very fast. I worked in construction, and I started from I started from laborer, and I got to job superintendent. So you got laborer, then you got to foreman, and then I got to job superintendent, and that's where I got in about a year of work here. So I work with them, so I know how fast they were working. Nothing like that. And I was just warning them, hey, work the, what the fuck are you doing? Work. Yeah, they were not paid a lot. I understand that one. And I used to tell the owner, the president, I mean, you ask these guys to work like machines, but you pay them what, $9 an hour, $8.45 at that time, and everybody else was paying, what now, $15, $17 an hour. You can't have that. And then he changed that, and he told me, yes, we pay them now. Fuck off. I told you that 20 years ago. Anyway, why? Because if you know something about Taylorism, and not only, you realize certain things, and psychology. You can't, I mean, you can use a whip and pay them low and get a big profit because it's going to be profitable due to your machines. But anyway, and hard work. My point is here, the United States destroys the competition not by being more efficient, which could be efficient, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So that's why they eliminated Russia out of the European market, and now they're the guys. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You should be ashamed of yourselves because you accept this to happen. But hey, if you why? Because the same guys who agreed to this, they don't like when someone else does it to them. And they talk about, we are this democracy, we are this marketplace here, we are a capitalist country. Really? Like that? Controlled? Impose all kind of sanctions on others so you can win? And if you tell me, well, you do what you need to do, then shut the fuck up about Ukraine. Russia has to do what it has to do. No? Oh, it doesn't work that way? Be careful. Consistency. Justice is based on consistency. Justice across the board. Not only here and here because I have an interest. There's no justice. There's no values. The values. No principles. The principles are not selective and preferential. Got that? Got that? Anyway, my friends, here are the profiteers. And interestingly enough, if you remember, former President Trump went to Europe and NATO, if you remember that conversation that he had with that idiot Stoltenberg from NATO secretary. Yes, the appointment, yes, okay, that was Stoltenberg. Remember that dinner or lunch, whatever it was, that Trump got Stoltenberg by his dingy-lingy, and he said, why is Germany buying gas from the enemies, the Russians? They can blackmail them. Yeah, now the Russians cannot potentially blackmail them, but we can potentially blackmail the Germans. So Germans are slaves anyway, or how should I put it, servants anyway, subordinate to not potentially the Russians. Now they're definitely towards the guys who also have tens of thousands of troops on their territory. So Germany, you tell me that Germany is not under occupation with troops and natural gas cutting from that, getting these guys. If these guys could potentially blackmail me, the same thing if you take it from those guys and give it to these guys, they can do the same thing unless they are morally superior, which we are because we're exceptional, because we identify as such. Thank you very much. But only we can identify as such. Nobody else is allowed to use the same idiotic, infantile method, mentality, whatever you want. Just irritated because I see so much garbage and these guys are coming and telling you, and I say, what are you talking about? It's a double, triple standard that you use here. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.